know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, got in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Boo signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy Janludis, and as you can see, we have another incredible guest for you. He is the owner and facilitator behind his brand, Hunger Breeds Success, which has become a platform with the mission of helping people do good in this world, finding their purpose, and create a sustainable life based off the principles of faith, family, history, legacy, and community. Our guest today is a health coach and speaker in his own right, trying to improve the lives of others, and I'm excited to dive into all of that with him today for you. Everyone, I give you Eddy Vieira Jr. Eddy, welcome to the show, man. It's a blast, and I can't wait to dive into it with you.
Hey, happy Friday. Thank you for the best intro I've gotten thus far on this journey of life.
That's perfect. That's what I want. I want to start off on a high note, right? But I can already tell, man, with the energy that you bring just from our conversation prior to this recording, we can keep that high note even going to greater places. In that, man, let's dive into it. So Hunger Breeds Success. I'm seeing that brand pop up. We got connected through the Cal connection. Give a shout out to Jared Cal right now.
Jared.
Right? People, I know you've seen Jared in our past episodes, whether it's interviewing him or him interviewing me. The Cal Connection podcast has grown so much. He's got his book out there. Everyone go check it out. Jared, you're awesome, man. Keep the ball rolling. But Eddy, with him saying him over and seeing what you've done with helping people in your coaching, you even had a speaking gig a few weeks back where you were given the quote, the testimonial, you're like a young Tony Robbins. I've heard that on my own right. And when I gave my first few speaking gigs and everything, there's some fireworks from Riverside right there. That's awesome. But in that, man, let's dive into it. So you as a coach, let's talk about the journey. Where did that begin for you? And what is it? What's the mission to you?
The journey began as a coach 5 years ago when I decided to chase my wildest dreams of making Hunger Breeds Success a reality with the mission to open up my own gym and make gym apparel. And my mission really comes from the feeling of knowing how it is to walk around with a smile on your face, but not want to be alive inside. So I think it's rather funny to, all jokes aside, but to go from, not wanting to be alive to going on 5 years now, 365 days a year, wishing everybody happy, whatever day it is. The mission is just really comes from, a lot of pain and my own journey, knowing that, I just like to see people happy, and that's what people deserve,
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned just there a little part of your own story. You went from, is it true you went from a place where you didn't want to live anymore to now a complete other side of the coin? Yes. Do you want to dive into that a little bit? Or how did that spark?
Of course. I mean, that feeling started in, middle school. It started really young. When I was 8 years old, I was under the impression that I was a chubby kid. And that led to, not going to the beach for 12 years. That led to a lot of insecurity, a lack of self-esteem, just the upbringing of not feeling confident in myself and not believing in myself, being a shy child. That stemmed to middle school where you would have never known that I was unhappy inside. But I could see it looking back on pictures. My younger days, I was a very happy, go-lucky kid. And then once about 8th grade came and, maybe 7th grade as well. And, people started talking about going to school dances and, asking people to go with them. And inside I felt like, hey, nobody would want to go with me, that as a middle. And, also I remember being in gym, locker room and, having to face the locker because people would be trying to scoop my boobs and stuff. And, as a kid, you're like, okay, well, I know girls have boobs. Why do I have them, right? And that, growing up as a boy and having that feeling, that's when, the pressure came to, not want to feel that. And then that led to high school where you would have never known I felt the way I felt. I got down to 120 pounds, barely eating, doing all cardio, no exercising, chest workouts. So I was deemed skinny fat, which is a horrible term people use in this generation now. But, I just can definitely say that I always was a happy kid, but I just never really knew why I felt so insecure or how to fix it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think that resonates. I resonate very much with your story because that was me growing up just as much. I was extremely overweight. I was bullied, and it didn't change. I kind of very much follow the same route where you kind of put it all inside
Hmm.
and you turn inward, but it doesn't have anywhere to go. And that I think is where the low self esteem, the depression kind of stems from because we're hearing these comments left and right in the locker rooms from whatever. And like, boys will be boys,
Yep.
teenagers will be teenagers for sure. But when you're going through that age, it's such a turmoil time
Hmm.
because one comment can completely throw you off. And if you're not hearing the positive encouragement from other people, from adults, from yourself as well, it does start to beat you down. And so
Yeah.
that was me just as much until I found the gym just as much. I found sports even so, but eventually it starts to stack. And it sounds like it's stacked for you where you found your confidence through a gym output, not in the sense of I needed the weights or the exercise to do it, but because I was able to change myself from the inside out. And then you start to walk forward in that new self esteem. That
Hmm.
and now you want to make sure everyone else is having a great day to build their self esteem, right? So you flip the entire cycle. That to me is where the passion comes from for Hunger Breed Success.
Yes.
That's the hunger because you
That's
went through the dark times to the point where, you know what, I can get out of it. Now I know I want to kind of build on that just as much because I know you're a faithful person just like me. And I've
yes.
seen some of your posts, I've seen your story and everything like that. So when you were coming out of it or in those dark times, is that when faith came in, or did faith come in later where it's like, all right, you kind of came out of it, but not everything changed, and then faith kind of comes in? Like, what does that look like to you?
Oh man, that's my favorite part about the journey. I mean, I grew up in Rhode Island my whole life, and
Mhm.
then coming out of high school, I went to community college of Rhode Island, and my parents ended up splitting,
Okay.
and so I dropped out of college, decided to work a couple jobs, and with knowing that the only other option was either stay, move in with my dad who had moved out into a trailer home, or do what truly was seemed like the real only option, was move to New Jersey. And
Mm,
I remember moving to New Jersey. It was May of 2018, and all I kept asking myself was, God, like, why me? Why do my parents have to split? Why does this have to happen to me? Why do I have to leave all my friends and move up to a whole different state? And
mm,
that's where it started, right? And I just like when I moved to Jersey, I legitimately remember my biggest prayer was praying to be able to come home, right? I
okay.
prayed to come home. And a year later, in June of 2019, God answered that prayer. And when I moved to New Jersey, my goal was to go to college in the fall
Mhm.
and then stack it, like go back to school. But instead, there was a community college. Shout out to Sussex County in New Jersey. There was a community college only a couple minutes away. Before I had moved to New Jersey, I was working at a coffee shop, and I went back to completely what I'm against now. I went back to my comfort zone, going to another coffee shop
Mhm.
instead of going back to school in the fall because just being nervous to go back to school.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was like September 4th, 2018. All the college kids came to get their coffee like at lunchtime, and I felt like the biggest loser. And
Okay.
of course, like I was in a small town from the city life, and I had basically a full sleeve at the time, so I was like the only one with tattoos. And I'm like, yo, why am I sitting behind this counter? Why was I so nervous? And then you start seeing people that are bigger than you have the ability to do things that you wish you could do, and then you start just trashing yourself. I'm a
Mm,
loser. Why can't I do that? And my faith really started when I started questioning God, why my life had to be like this. But then I started praying to God, and
mhm.
from there, like once I was able to come home, like that was my first like real like holy cow, like God is so real. And then from there it was like I'm not losing this touch, you know what I mean?
For sure. Oh, I love that. And that's the beauty of it. Sometimes, I've heard this phrase come back to me numerous times in my life, but sometimes rock bottom is the best place to be.
Yes.
And from there, it's where one, you can rebuild, but two, it's where God rebuilds you because he had to, in my own story, he had to shatter all the foundations I built my life on, which was the worldly life because I didn't know him at the time. And then when all those are shattered and you have nothing else but your vision and but your dream, that's all you ever need, but that's all he needs to build something in you. And from there at rock bottom, he starts to stack. And it sounds like that's what he did to you on an internal level where he started to, when an internal level, I mean those insecurities sometimes become so strong for people listening and viewing this right now. Sometimes those insecurities become so strong for us, they really start to beat us down. but those insecurities are our own perspectives on how we see ourselves, not how God sees us, and
Exactly.
not how other people might see us. Because as much as we can hear negative comments from others and we might attach to those and hold those so closely to us, one, God's got a different perspective on us, but two, a lot of people actually cherish us and hold us at such a high regard. And very often, you need to have someone else's belief in you be so strong until your belief in yourself starts to rise. And when God, because you think about it, God blessed you with the opportunity to be here in the world today. So if that is the blessing he gave to you, meaning you're so important that you have something here to do and you're looking for a meaning on your life, but you're here. That to me means there's more to your story. But it sounds like, Eddie, with you, you got to that low point where those insecurities became very strong. And God's like, no, no, flip the script. And then you went from questioning him to praying to him. And there's so much power in prayer. And from that, the energy shifted to now you're walking in that alignment. You're walking in that mission, in that story, in that destiny for that matter. So sometimes he needs to take us out of our comfort zone. As you said, Rhode Island, take us to an area like New Jersey, whatever it is, where those insecurities might be at a very high place for us until we get the right perspective. And it sounds like that's what happened to you. And then he brought you back. So that's incredible, man. That's awesome.
It's so amazing. I try to tell people that, like, just God's so real. He's
Mhm.
so real. And I never knew how real he was until all I had left was to pray to him. And just when he answered, then it's like, wow. Like, and then as the years go on, I'm like, he keeps answering. And I tell people that Hunger Breeds Success is a brand gifted to me by God himself,
Mhm.
because I prayed for him to make it a reality.
Yeah.
And when you pray for something like that, and when you come out with something like, hey, I want to chase my wildest dreams, of course people are going to look at you like you're crazy. But it's
Mhm.
like, as 5 years has gone on and it's deemed step by step, it's gotten bigger and bigger. And I still feel like we're so early in the journey. It's like, I prayed for this and God
Yeah.
answered and he made it a reality.
For sure. Oh, I love that, man. And like, let's step into Hunger Breed Success now in your coaching, because now that we have, for people and viewers and listeners right now, we have some idea on who Eddie is and where the story comes from. Let's talk about the areas that you help people with, because Hunger Breed Success, as much as I gave a little tidbit of it in the intro, talk to us about Hunger Breed Success. You got the hat on, you got the sweatshirt on. You mentioned there's apparel, there's gym apparel, there's a website that, guys, we're going to have it in the YouTube description. We're going to have it in the YouTube credits for that matter. But Eddie, let's hear it directly from the creator himself. What is Hunger Breed Success?
Hunger Breeds Success is a brand gifted to me by God himself that I didn't even know was a brand until we start a couple years into it. I always knew I wanted to make the shirts, but then once the shirts started coming and then people started referring to it as, oh,
Mhm.
that's your brand. I'm like, wow, this turned into a brand from a dream. And I just want people to know that if you're listening, like, when it comes to working with me one on one, whether it's in the gym, outside of the gym, as far as coaching, training, nutritional help, I truly tell everybody that your mental health is going to improve just as much, if not 10 times more, than your physical health. Because what I've understood about my own journey through exercise and health and healthy eating and everything that's come along with this journey is that you can change everything that's on the outside, but if up here isn't where you want it to be, like, you're still gonna feel unfulfilled, right?
Mhm.
And I'm so big on, like, yes, you can go to the gym and work out the body, and of course you want to eat healthy because you're always going to get better results, but up here is what matters most. And that's where
Mhm.
I try to go full on head of steam when it comes to working with people. Like, I care more about up here, because if you can get up here right, the gym and everything else is going to flow a lot
Sure.
better.
Yeah, it's completely true. There's something that I used to have to tell myself the last few years because, like I said, I used to be extremely overweight just as much, and then it shifted, and then little by little, I started to sculpt the body that I have now. But to me, I'm in the best shape of my life now, which is phenomenal. But there was something that really dawned on me is that, just like Eddie just said for people listening, we can go to the gym, we can go for a run, we can run a marathon, whatever it is. And if our intention behind that is to change our body because we don't like it, you are now leading with a lower level emotion, a lower level energy. And to that, I'm telling my body, I don't like you. So I'm going to force myself to change it. So, mental health related wise, you're already leading into a negative area because you look in the mirror and you see something negative about yourself. But when I had to flip the script for myself, essentially it was, I am going to the gym, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing everything that probably most people don't want to do. but I want to do it because I love my body so much that I want to see it achieve this incredible results. So now I'm leading with a higher level emotion, a higher level mindset, a higher level mental health, to where my body is receiving love. It's receiving energy because I'm doing the things that, one, challenge me for sure, but I'm doing the things that are going to elevate me in all these areas to achieve the result that much quicker, which Eddy just touched on, where that impacts every other area of your life. And that's one, seeing yourself in such an incredible light for self-esteem, but that's two, raising your mindset, raising your frequency, your energy, whatever term you guys want to put on it. It's raising yourself to such a higher level to now you see the world in a higher level. Much to Eddy's point of how he wakes up every single day and makes sure everyone is having a happy Friday, happy Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is, because he has elevated himself to that higher level. So he's trying to spread that joy, spread that love in some regards. But Eddy, with all that, with Hunger Breed Success, and like, give us an example. Who's a client? You don't have to give names or anything like that. Give us an example of someone that you've helped with your coaching, for that matter.
The most recent person I've helped is a close friend, local to me. He saw. It's funny because a lot of people I've been able to help without directly working with them one on one, and I didn't necessarily work with him one on one, but him just being around us, hanging out, and going on double dates and stuff like that. He's actually over a month sober.
Nice.
He saw my own sober transformation, and
Mm.
it's just amazing. Like that example in itself, to be able to help one person go sober.
Yep.
And it's not like he was addicted or an alcoholic. Like he just was like, wow, like I want to do that. You know what I mean? He wanted to
Yeah.
better himself, and he wasn't going to the gym. We went to the gym, got him in there on his first day, and the last month he's been showing up at 4:45 every single day, working
Nice.
out. He feels better. He's eating healthier,
Mm.
and like it's like I think about another person who I helped back in COVID, just through social media. He did my challenge with me with like just a mile a day, 100 or 150 push-ups a day. And he
Yep.
was like, he's in high school. I think he's a senior right now out in Florida. He just purchased a beanie today. Shout out to Alan. And just from doing 1 mile a day and 150 push-ups, he went from a similar like body type, having the overweight chest, to
Mhm.
being in the best shape of his life, And
Nice.
I believe the more people, the larger we grow, and the more people we're able to reach, the more people we're able to help. And that's why every single day I'm marketing myself to be
Mhm.
able to help more people, because that's ultimately what I want to do.
For sure. Right. Do you agree with the statement of you become the people you're around?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I've seen it in my own life. The people I've been around that have done unhealthy habits, the fact that if I'm not around them, I'm not doing them, those unhealthy habits. And
Mhm.
if I stay around people that are doing healthy things, I'm way more likely to do
Yeah.
healthy things.
Right. Just like your friend that you mentioned, as much as he might not have been an initial client, he's around you taking these steps of actions. He's, wow, this works. This makes sense. So you're impacting others that might not be an initial client, but just you yourself walking in that energy, it shows everyone else there's something to all this. And I think that's the beauty of being a coach, where, because, I sit there where I had a mentor tell me this one time. Everyone receives a counselor, we'll say. That's always on the table. A counselor is always on the table in the world, but it's a blessing to receive a coach, because if at the end of the day you sit there and you realize that someone had to walk the path to get here, and their passion is what caused them to keep following this path, meaning you had to go through the downs and all the painful moments just as much to allow you to get up stronger than ever. And then when you're stronger than ever, the beauty of that is that you can look down and pull the next person up so they don't have to hit the same hurdles that you hit. And you as the coach is doing that. You're preventing others, one, from, yes, a health standpoint, might not be making the same choices they were making at one time. But I think that at the end of the day, like you said, the mental health aspect, that's the biggest battle we go through in the world. The mind is the battlefield in itself. So when we are able to be around those people that build us up rather than tear us down, and we ourselves begin to build ourselves up rather than tear ourselves down, that is the ultimate change that goes on in our lives. And that's something that you bring to people, Eddy. So I give you credit for that, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. It would be unselfish for me to not share this positivity with the world.
Mhm.
If someone would have told me when I was younger, like life will get better. Like if you're breathing, you're winning. That's the
Mhm.
mindset I live by. If you're breathing, you're winning, no matter what's happening.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I love that. So talk to us about the speaking gig you had recently,
The
where,
speaking gig
yeah,
was
let's talk about
actually
that.
it was actually a student pitch competition at Bryant, and
Cool.
it's funny because the three people that ended up winning, I wasn't one of them. And
Okay.
it is what it is. I tell myself every no gets you one step closer to the yes.
For
And
sure.
the fact that the judges, one specific judge told me, "Hey, it sounds like you're the next Tony Robbins." That's so much greater than winning a couple
Yeah.
$100 from winning a student pitch competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It means so much more. And even doing presentations at Rhode Island College for class, I remember somebody was like, "Oh, he reminds me of Tony Robbins walking around there with the water bottle just for class." Like, I never knew how much I loved presenting until I took public speaking at CCRI, and then I started to get the knack for it at like 22 years old. And
Nice.
it's just like if I would have went up there at 18, I'd be crying in the back of the classroom that I had to go
Mhm.
up there and speak. But now I love it. Like
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite things to do. And as time goes on and this journey continues, is something I pray to be able to move towards, being able to speak for even if it's one person. I'm
Yep.
happy to speak to one person. Then one builds to two, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was going to ask you. Do you see that being a bigger platform as Hunger Breed Success grows? To me, it already just seems like it's going to be aligned, for sure. One, you're helping coaching clients now and training clients just as much, but the apparel brand, everything like this, and like you're building a community with Hunger Breed Success. So it looks to me that speaking more so is in the future.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've been listening to Eric Thomas since a middle
Yep.
schooler,
Mhm.
watching Kevin Durant's summer training videos before I ever knew who Eric Thomas
Yeah.
was, the voice behind it. And
Mhm.
all glory to God, I've been able to get the location to ship him a Hunger Breed Success hoodie. So
Wow.
that's in store next. I got the address for shout out Mel Robbins with the Let Them Theory. I got
Yep.
her hoodie already made. And I'm taking a trip up in a couple weeks to New Jersey to Gary Vee's dad's wine library to
Wow.
bring a hoodie to Gary Vee's dad, but also to Gary Vee, because one thing I learned when I drove to Philly for Wallow's book
Yep.
signing is these people with millions of followers, the odds of getting a response through a DM is so slim. Like, you got to take that action and really take that drive out there. I'm ready to take a drive out to New York to see Chris Brickley, but I'm trying to take it a more professional route and wait for a response. But I know there's going to come a time where I just drive out to the summit and pray he's
Yeah.
there, right?
For sure. No, shoot your shot, man. That's what it's all about. Take a
Got
chance,
to, got
right? Take a chance on the opportunity, but take a chance on yourself just as much. And I think that's the beauty of it. When people take a shot like that, whether you're driving out and don't know, is just going to see that, to me, opens up the journey even more so, because you don't know what's going to happen along the journey, but it's filled with lessons. It's filled with all these blessings along the way. And when you learn the lessons, you pass the test, you level up in life. So if you take a chance on yourself, whether it's driving to New York or New Jersey, everything like this, you don't know what's going to happen, but because you knocked on the door can open,
You got to be
right?
willing to bet on it. You got to be willing to bet on yourself, and
Mhm.
it's not about like, oh, these people with millions of followers. It's like someone that has helped me in life that like I personally want to not only thank in person but give something to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the people that I see in life that embody Hunger Breeds Success, it's like I want to connect with them, and
Mhm.
you know, like the even someone like, I'm sure you're familiar with him, like Tyler Kolek from Rhode
Mhm.
Island, who plays for the New York Knicks now. When he was at Marquette, I
Yep.
gifted him a couple hoodies, and
Wow.
I just slowly but surely try to keep connecting with people that I feel like embody Hunger Breeds Success, and Hunger Breeds Success and success loves consistency is what God spoke to me when I said
Yep.
Hunger Breeds Success. And it's funny because the greatest people in life just praise consistency. Keep
Yeah.
being consistent.
For sure. And that's something you are very consistent about just as much. But I also saw it like, I guess it bases off of the community aspect for Hunger Breed Success. But networking is a pivotal piece for how you built yourself, how you built the brand. Talk to us about that right now. Because I think networking, I think a lot of people are afraid to network. But for someone like yourself who has the confidence to just shoot your shot, whether you're reaching out to a big time player, an athlete, or an author, or whatever it is on the sun, how has networking, as much as you've already kind of vocalized how much it's changed yourself, how has networking opened more doors for you? Because right now, for people listening, how can we help them network more to open doors for themselves?
The best way to network more is really by doing the research and understanding that it doesn't matter how famous you are, everybody has a mental health.
Mm.
And whether it's going on LinkedIn, going on Google, searching addresses, searching emails, finding ways to connect with these people that resonate with you and that you want to meet, right?
Mm.
And I networking, like I heard this thing recently that like people talk about like network, like your network is your net worth, and like to keep almost like having other people build up your network. But the person was speaking, they really said like you have to build yourself up. Like the
Yep.
more you build yourself up is the more your network is going to increase, because when you're building yourself up, people want to network with you naturally. You know what I mean? And I just like I really try to explain to people that are listening, like everyone's human. So they might have 18 million followers on the gram, but they
Mhm.
are like behind that, they are a normal person that wakes up every single day, goes to sleep, goes to the bathroom, eats, drives a car. They have a story, and it's not so much about like the millions of followers. It's like the way that person has helped you in life. And
Mhm.
if someone's helped you in life, I think it's only right to thank them. And
Yeah.
sometimes you just have to thank them in person.
For sure. No, I think that's incredible, man. And I agree with you. Your network equals your net worth. I heard that through Les Brown. I don't know if that's a speaker you're thinking of, but Les Brown, incredible, incredible motivational speaker. Um, he said that in a message I heard from him before. In that, it comes back to what we said earlier of you become the people you surround yourself with. And if
Absolutely.
your network is people that are not pursuing more for themselves, or your network is filled with people that might not be in the best activities or behaviors, we'll say, or what they do with the extracurricular time. It's not to say everyone has to be pursuing something great in their life. No, everyone, it could be someone that's a wholesome person, but you want that in your network because that could help you, that could open a door for them, whatever the connections of being. But it all comes back to that concept of your net worth increases for sure with the right people around you. But at the same time, you as an individual increase depending on the people that are around you. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The more you build yourself up is the more your network is going to build. Like I agree, your network can be your net worth, but
Mhm.
if you're not building yourself up,
Yep.
people really aren't gonna want to work with you, and that's okay, because it's like maybe you guys just aren't pursuing the same things, and everybody isn't called to pursue something greater. But I try to just explain to people that like true success is being happy and doing what
Yes.
you love. That's
For
what
sure.
success is. And it's funny because everybody has a different terminology of success, but from what I've seen, there's billionaires that are miserable, and there's people
Yep.
making 50 grand that are happy as a pig in shit. So it's
For
like,
sure.
what is the like the guiding factor in that? I think
Yeah.
that's fulfillment and just doing what you love, which leads to happiness.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you with fulfillment in that too, because I think everything does come down to perspective. And when we're trying to feel fulfilled in life, sometimes a perspective shift could help us feel that fulfillment. Like with me and my coaching, I have some clients come through where they feel they are supposed to be doing something great. And I question sometimes where do they see all the greatness they've already done? And that could be a parent feeling like they still have to do something great. But I'm like, you raised 3 kids. Is that you are surrounded by your great efforts already in life. And I feel sometimes in life, it's incredible to pursue something great when you know what and you're called and you're pursuing it and you know what that is. But I think some people get tripped up where they could already be living out the greatness that they were called to do, but because the external world
Yeah,
has us right now with a perspective that we have to do something higher above it. Like that's great. Like I hope everyone pursues something higher for themselves because it can only elevate them. But sometimes we get so far pursuing that we forget the greatness we've already done in our life. And that could be something very close to home, like the parent and past clients for that matter. But I agree with everything you say, Eddie, in that sense, where fulfillment at the end of the day is it's self-fulfillment is a very incredible journey in life. That's why we are here. It's what we're pursuing, but it's a very spiritual journey just as much. And you find your fulfillment as you pursue that, as you take steps of action, much like you're doing with trying to travel and meet these people, because it can elevate you and elevate yourself. But again, to the point you made, as you begin to take action on yourself, as you begin to grow yourself, you then elevate your level to where you can be in those same rooms as those great people you're pursuing. And that's something you've done to this point. So I say that to you, but I say that to everyone listening and viewing right now. You got to put action on yourself so you can elevate. And Eddie's an example of that. I'm an example of that. that. Anyone that we've ever set as a role model is an example of that because they believed in themselves enough to take action. So I think, Eddie, your story is able to inspire others to believe in themselves, to realize that the walls, the doors, whatever it is that we think hold us back, they don't hold us back. We can break right through them.
I agree, and ultimately, like, God believes in you, but you have to believe in yourself. Like,
Mhm.
you have to. Like, nobody comes up with an idea. Like, God doesn't give you an idea like hunger breeds success if you can't overcome the doubts of everyone around you that thinks like, hey, like, oh, you think you're gonna give a shirt to Tom Brady someday, and they'll just laugh at you. But it's
Mhm.
like, if you talk to Tom Brady and he hears hunger breeds success and success loves consistency, he's gonna be like, yeah, that sounds exactly what my life journey's been. I think everybody resonates with it, and I just know it. I know it's meant to be because, like, shout out to Tony Robbins when they ask him what the number one key to success is. He says hunger, and this is one of the greats in life that has helped so many people. When I whether I go to church or I get deep into like my own like feelings of gratitude, like it makes me cry because it's like a kid that didn't want to be alive has been gifted this like
Yeah,
this life of like just transforming and having the ability to help people. It's like it gets me so like appreciative, and I end up crying because I'm just like if somebody would have told that 8-year-old kid that felt like he was fat that
hmm,
this is what life would turn out 17 years later, like I would have never stressed the way I stressed when I was a little kid. And
yeah,
um, believing in yourself is one of the pivotal foundations to being able to achieve whatever you want to achieve.
for sure. No, I agree with that, man. With talking about Hunger Breed Success right now, tell them, where can they find your apparel? Where can they find more about Hunger Breed Success?
If you go to hungerbreedsuccess.com, you will find all of our newest apparel from the Love Wins collection to St. Patrick's Day. The upcoming drop will be for Easter, and then the next drop after that will be for our family's upcoming daughter, who's going to be born in May.
Nice.
Unless she's born early, it's going to be the Baby LV collection, and we have a few ideas. We're getting that situated, and another shirt that'll be coming out is it doesn't matter how famous you are. Everybody
Mm.
has a mental health, and hungerbreedsuccess.com. If you Google Hunger Breeds Success, you'll probably see a story written by the Community College of Rhode Island as well as Rhode Island College, and you'll see all platforms where we're pushing the message, whether you want to reach out by email or by direct message. I'm always here to answer and help in any way because I've been taught the golden rule to treat people how you want to be treated.
100%. Oh, that's awesome. So for viewers, listeners right now, like I said, that link is going to be in our YouTube description. You're about to see it roll in the credits in a few minutes right now. But, Eddie, before we kind of let everyone go right now, we know the website. You also have the Instagram account. Are you on every social media platform? Like, what other would you post on?
Facebook, TikTok,
Yep.
LinkedIn,
Okay.
YouTube, marketing myself as much as I can on a daily basis while
Okay.
juggling multiple jobs, my senior year of college, and a baby on the way, as well as just trying to stay present and because how much marketing can you do on a daily basis? Because a lot of it requires being on your phone, and as
Mhm.
much as you want to be on your phone and marketing your business, great things take time, and you still want to be able to enjoy your life outside of marketing your business 24/7.
100%. Oh, I love that. So everyone listening right now, go follow Hunger Breed Success on all those platforms. Go to his website, check out his apparel. I think it's incredible, man. You got a kid on the way, and the next drop is going to be for the kid, or the next drop is going to be for the kid. That's phenomenal, Eddie. I love that. But before we close this out, man, what's a lasting message you want to leave with everyone before we put the final period on this entire talk?
The
Yeah, let
lasting
it come
mes-
to you.
the lasting message I would want to leave with people is if you're in a dark place, don't take your life because there's somebody out there that wants you to be alive. And if God woke you up today, if you're listening right now, there is a bigger plan for you. No matter how hard life gets, there is. If you are breathing, you are winning the game of life. No matter what outside pressure you feel to get this degree, get this job, make this much money, find the love of your life, everything will happen on God's timing. Don't get caught up in the timeline. Don't get caught up in comparing yourself to other people that you see may have reached a similar goal to what you want in life. God has a purpose for you. if he didn't, he wouldn't have called you into this life. Trust the process. Take one day at a time. And if you focus on your mindset, everything else becomes easier.
Oh, that's perfect. That's a perfect end to this entire talk, Eddy. And I agree to everything that you just said for people listening, where, it is all in God's timing, and much to your own example with all the marketing and all the social media aspects, one step at a time, one moment at a time. And, that's life. And I think sometimes we get so far ahead. So I commend you for staying in that concept of one moment at a time. It's all coming together. And I think that's something everyone can take for that matter.
Remain present always. Remain
100%.
present. Live in the moment.
100%. Eddy, I appreciate your time, man. It's been a blast and a blessing to have you on for that matter. Everyone watching right now, please like this message on YouTube and hit that thumbs up button below. Share this message to someone who you feel needs to hear it. Whether someone came into your mind during this talk or a thought came through your mind, that's a clear-cut sign to you to share it to that person. Whether it's to share Eddy and Hunger Breed Success, or something that we said in this message could inspire them to start to take action and help themselves just as much. Please share it to that person. Subscribe to Once a Week on YouTube. That number is going up every single week. We just broke 24,000 last week, the other day. And so that means we're growing exponentially. And, with Eddy and what he brings to the table, I hope every single person watching this right now takes a chance on himself, but also take a chance and go look at Hunger Breed Success. Click the link in our description. I mentioned it before. Check out all the social media accounts that are about to roll in our credits right now. But guys, go check it out. Buy yourself a hoodie, buy yourself a hat, whatever it might be. But rep the message. As he says right there, be yourself. Rep the message. And again, that's not even just to support Eddy. That's to support yourself, to understand that you're walking in that success that you are. As Eddy touched on and as he incorporated throughout this entire message. Everyone, I thank you for tuning in. If you're in need of a coach to touch on any of the areas we touched today, you've got Eddy in your corner. You got Billy. Go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You can set up a free call with me. I'll be right there for you. I thank you for being here, guys. Eddy, once again, brother, it's been a blast.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. All love.
Perfect. We'll see you guys.
I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Buku signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal. Yeah, I battle through these bars, yeah, I always bunk a hill. I know that any city I go in, that I be flyer than Logan, and I be flying high. I want this shit pumping here all the way to Shanghai. And my name's not Joe, but I'm not your average guy.